Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of How Did This Get Booked? I, of course, am your host, Jake Manning. I'm a veteran of the professional wrestling business for over... I fucked it up.
No. Oh, absolutely not. I took my headphones off.
You motherfucker.
I didn't even pay attention to you. I didn't even pay attention to you.
We're back.
Oh, you fucker.
Well, I took my... I looked at my levels. Mm-hmm. I wanted to make sure, even though we just got done recording last week's podcast back to back,
literally less than a minute ago.
I was a little concerned my levels were a little too hot.
Nope.
And I took my eyes off the prize. I did not get in the rhythm, and it threw me off.
Yes.
And it just...
Oh, inevitable sorrow. It tastes so good. I don't even need another water. I'm just going to keep slapping in this failure.
How does this book? Veteran of the professional wrestling business for over a decade. I've had every single job except selling popcorn.
And nailing introductions.
Jake, man.
Bitch.
I'm joined as always by an instigator. A man who possibly could be going through legal depositions right now as we speak.
The money.
A man who I love very dearly. A man who's gone on this journey with me. Zane Jake.
You blew it!
Yes, I did. I fucked up the intro. I thought we were past it. But that's the problem. I've done this so many times. I've done this over 100 times that my mind, it's not engaged. It's not engaged, and it's a repetitive nature. and I need to be engaged.
Guys, not just a couple minutes ago, we talked about how good our last episode was, and then Jake he puts it on. You know, I had that warm up earlier. Felt good, and then kablooey.
And see, this is why I have no confidence. The second that I feel that I'm confident in myself and my abilities, failure arrives at my door. Arrives at my house, which, as we discussed last week, I do not like.
Your shack off Independence?
My shack off Independence Boulevard, which I've always hated and will always fucking hate until I make the changes that I want.
Until Kevin Thorne comes and gets you a new house. Until
Kevin Thorne comes. But that's what last week's episode was. It came, but this week's episode has come. But what it also has come in is some stellar reviews. Like I said, hopefully by now I've mailed off a free t-shirt to these people who have left reviews, and I'm doing that for everybody who leaves a review. All you gotta do is just hop into my DMs, give me your shirt size, give me your mailing address, and you will get a free t-shirt for leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher. Even though on Stitcher, leaving a review does absolutely nothing. I want to give away free t-shirts. And so, guys, all you gotta do is just leave reviews. Some people are leaving, 2-sentence reviews, and they're writing 8 words into a bubble, and that's all it takes. And that's all I'm asking from you is just a little. And it doesn't need to be 5 stars. You just need to engage with the podcast and let people see that people actually listen to this thing. Because if we've got about 60 or 70 reviews right now or something like it, maybe 50, I don't know. If those are all the people that are listening to this podcast, I'll just stop doing it. How about that? If there's only 50 people listening to this, I appreciate all 50 of you. I will do something for you guys on a weekly basis that is not this podcast, that doesn't cost as much as this podcast. I will do something for you guys every single week. But if you're listening, I really, really need you guys to leave a review, please. And you don't need to leave much at all. And you don't have to really leave a review. As I've said before, some people have given me encouragement. And after listening to last week's episode, you might want to give me a little virtual pat on the back, because you're like, man, I feel really bad for Jake. Hang in.
Don't do it.
Maybe say...
Just leave a review.
Just leave a review. Do whatever you need to do. Leave a review. And in exchange for that, I'm giving you a free t-shirt by just, you get up with me and with your shirt size and your mailing address in my DMs, Instagram and Twitter at ManscoutManning. The people who hopefully I've already sent free t-shirts out to: Stellar Steve. He's sitting on top of the whole Apple Podcasts. Also, DJ Shadow Penguin. I think he's left 2 reviews. So if you want a second shirt, just let me know, bud.
Have all the shirts you want.
Have all the shirts you want. But let's wait for Revolver to run some shows in Iowa again, and I'll pass it off to you there. How about that? Also, DJ Shadow Penguin looked great in that tent shirt. I appreciate that. He bought a tent shirt off of howdidthisgetbooked.com, which is where my merch is, which is where hopefully you've seen today's wrestling show we're discussing. We don't have a non-wrestling fan aboard. This is something new we're doing with the format. As I was thinking, maybe we need to have a guest in for our big shows, like our Survivor Series, our Halloween Havocs, WrestleMania episodes. We didn't have one for this year's WrestleMania, but we'll bring in a guest. But maybe we do some wrestling shows that have some stories behind them. And the topic of discussion today has some stories. Topic of discussion today is 3K wrestling, fighting athletes, Rage in the Cage, which is an event that took place in Robersonville, North Carolina, October the 4th, 2008 at Roanoke High School, and was brought to you by the Robinson Rescue EMS. So this is a big fundraiser show. That's why there are basically banners all over the ring, and if I'm not mistaken, these might be the same people that ran a fundraiser years ago, like the Robersonville benefit show used to draw thousands of people.
Jesus.
I think an ex-girlfriend of mine was actually flown in from Kentucky or Minneapolis, wherever she was living at the time, to be on this particular show with Jeff Jarrett as the main event. Right. So there's a few people that I believe that have been on this particular benefit show. Nobody was really flown in for this one except for a very rough-looking Jake the Snake Roberts, who I've got some stories and we'll discuss as we go.
Fucking specimen.
Yes. The 3K Wrestling is actually Steve Carino's wrestling promotion before he did PWF. After he did PWF as well. So he's done it twice. Yeah. But no, actually I wrestled on some of the 3K wrestling shows that were happening up in Pennsylvania. He was kind enough to book me, and he was kind enough to have me win the 0-1 U.S. title, and I defended it and lost it to Sterling James Keenan, otherwise known as Corey Graves.
Hey, at least you got that.
I got that. Yeah. So I won that belt. There's actually a really good picture, which I've posted.
Who'd you beat for it?
Mr. X.
Steve in a hood?
Ricky Landell in a hood.
I love Ricky Landell.
I love Ricky Landell, too. I miss Ricky Landell.
Yeah.
I feel bad he had a nervous breakdown. Because I assume it's a nervous breakdown.
What?
Should I?
You think he's listening?
You think anybody's listening?
No.
Okay, all right. Well,
no, it's just Tommy's podcast.
All right, Ricky Landell. Super cool guy, training with Steve.
See him every year at WrestleCade.
Oh, you've seen him around? I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, I see him every WrestleCade.
I still don't see him.
Me, him, and his tag partner in CW, and them go out for drinks.
Which
he asks about you every time.
Motherfucker, he's never said hi. He's never come over. I'm around WrestleCade, motherfucker.
Oh, they never come into it. They just stay at the bar across the street.
Oh, that's a problem. I'm at the bar. Yeah. I'm not at the bar.
You're not at the bar. You're at work.
I'm at work. That's a goddamn problem. But still,
But now that you know he's alive and well, go on.
But still, I've been in the bar to drag people out to go do work. You could have caught me then.
I'll make sure next time we come find you.
Please come find me. I haven't seen Ricky Landell in years. I used to hang out with him all the fucking time. But no, I guess he had a situation. He went to Japan.
Okay. Yep.
And for whatever reason, he decided to take a month or two off before he went to Japan.
Cool.
Which doesn't seem
like you do.
Seems like the opposite of what you would do. And I guess the match that he had was not good.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the match was so bad that Steve Carino, the guy who spoke up for him, had to bow multiple times and apologize.
Oh, no.
To Tenaru. And I think this was even before Hashimoto's death. So I think he had to do it to two Japanese legends and apologize for Ricky Landell not being who Steve said he was.
Ricky.
That is the story that I heard.
Okay.
I don't know if it is factually correct. But that is the story that I heard. He did that, and then he disappeared. Him and Steve's relationship. Yeah, no, excuse me. It wasn't Hashimoto. Hashimoto had already passed. I believe it was Chono. I think it was Tenaru and Chono.
Okay.
Steve had to bow to, but it was two fucking top-level guys that were in charge of this promotion and this show, and Steve had to apologize for Ricky not being up to snuff. So, yeah. Miss Ricky Landau.
Yeah, he's great. No, he came back because and him and Steve mended bridges, I guess, because I wrestled him multiple times at PWF.
Okay. Yeah, I knew they did a whole angle too about it, but yeah, I remember those 3K wrestling shows, and yeah. So, all right, where were we going with all this? We were talking about 3K wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is the whole thing. We just talked about how much we love Ricky Landau.
Yeah, exactly. And 3K wrestling, like Steve had he was having a training school. He had a building for a while, and then also the building went away, and then he started running shows in the back of his gym. Like he ran like the Hashimoto Cup, the first one, Hashimoto Cup, in like the back lot of his gym. I wrestled Jerry Lynn.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, I wrestled Jerry Lynn.
Right on.
Yeah, wrestled Jerry Lynn in that. Also, Aries, who we'll see later, he wrestled on the show, and while he was wrestling, fucking like 18-wheeler was driving by where the show was happening. So like one side of the chairs all had to get up and move so this 18-wheeler could go drop shit off, because we were basically in an alley.
Yeah, of course.
Having the Hashimoto Cup.
Of course.
That's what
that's what
we do.
A loved and valued piece of Japanese wrestling history.
Yep. So
it had to be Wayne's World.
That was basically 3K wrestling in a nutshell. It was a lot of that, and some of the students are on the show, and we'll get to all of that. But just to let you know, that's Steve had good intentions, but I think those houses were built on sand, and this show was kind of where I don't know if 3K wrestling ran too much after this show. After that, there might have been some New Jersey shows after that, but I would drive all the way up to New Jersey and Pennsylvania and wrestle on these shows for Steve, and yeah, so. It was definitely not. PWF has over there on the coast has had a longer run than 3K wrestling. Just to let you know,
had more than 3 shows.
Yeah, what Zane Riley was for PWF, I was almost kind of that for 3K wrestling.
Okay,
it was pretty close to that. So
all
right. So let's get into match number 1.
Let's.
You excited?
I love it, man. It for me. This show doesn't pick up until 3rd, 4th match, but Jake, okay. There's not one bit of wrestling on this show to me that is memorable.
Oh no, this
has nothing to do with wrestling whatsoever.
Well, this is like 2008 North Carolina indie wrestling at its finest, my friend.
This is 100% about the commentary. This show is only commentary based to me.
Oh,
this show could have been in an audio format, as far as I'm concerned.
I edited this
guys, it was a different time. The things that are said in this show are not that of the feelings of Jake Manning, Zane Riley, or How Did This Get Booked?
Definitely not.
But holy shit, man, it gets real good in a little while. When we get Allison Danger on commentary.
Oh, nobody gave a fuck on commentary.
No, I don't know that they felt that it was being recorded.
Because this is very typical high spots.
Yeah.
We ended up bringing a ring for the show. Michael was like, go film this shit. And very typical, like, okay, well, what about commentators? Figure it out. What about ringside camera people? I don't give a fuck. I ain't paying anybody.
Right on.
But I wanted to look fucking professional.
Ooh.
It's very similar to what I'm going through with the live auctions right now.
Yeah.
I wanted to look like this, but not explaining it, but then trying to explain to him the problems and the issues and what we need to entail, and we don't have the staff to do the things that you want to do. So we need to come up with creative solutions, or your vision can't be done unless X happens. Yeah. And that's kind of where we're at. We were told to bring the ring out. We were also told to bring a canvas that had a logo on it. If you see like the logo that's on there, it looks like somebody took a Sharpie and drew like some particular logo on there.
It looked like the CMT logo for the wrestling show they had, like the Celebrity Championship Wrestling.
It was whatever EMS logo that or some logo of the fundraiser people. Caleb Connolly drew that with a Sharpie.
Good.
Before the show. I will never forget. He had some goofy little like floppy hat. And like he had like another Sharpie in there, so that way when the other one went out, he could just start making it like Sharpieing in
whatever
logo instead of like doing what we do now with John Moses, where he puts like the AEW logo.
Yeah.
He's like, that AEW canvas, that's our canvas, and we can produce that. But at the time we were asked to do that, we couldn't do that. All we had was Caleb Connolly with a fucking Sharpie, and that's what this fucking
That's what you get.
That's what these people got. And I'll never forget, he had that floppy hat on, and I was like, goddamn fucking Pablo Picasso over here.
Had that Mr. Ooh La La hat on.
Yeah, and then he's looking at me, just shit-eating fucking blue-eyed Caleb Connolly, looking like he just farted or something, because he did.
Giving that stupid fucking laugh.
Stupid fucking laugh. And I remember that. And I was talking to Mike Lee about this show a little bit ago before we hit record, and he just like, man, I just remember we were there all fucking day. I'm like, well, no shit. We had to fucking bring the ring. We had to fucking bring the goddamn cage. We had to set up the cameras. We had to set up the merch table because Mike was like, oh, if we film the show and we, bring the ring, we'll make thousands of dollars.
Oh, man.
If not, it's a fucking waste and I'll blame you. And there was a lot of blame going around.
Because you guys didn't make that money?
We didn't make that money. Also, to the EMS people, they expected to make a lot more money. And they were looking at Steve like,
The fuck, Steve?
What the fuck, Steve? We were supposed to make a lot of money. And of course, much like these paid shows, they have requirements. They want a big name. They want some big names. And of course, Steve, brings in quality people. We had all these.
Yeah, Ricky Landell, goddammit.
Ricky Landell, you fucking.
Lodi's there.
Lodi is there. Ricky Reyes is a big deal.
In 2008?
Maybe not 2008. But he's more of a bigger deal in 2008 than he is in fucking 2020.
Yeah, but he's had that lucha run there in the middle.
Well, that's what I said. 2020.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like Ricky Reyes. Fucking
2016.
2016. Ricky Reyes far better than 2008. All right,
and 2020.
And 2020. Like. That run was good.
Yeah.
There's some people there, but like they were very disappointed, and that story is going to come back around later.
Okay.
But there was a lot of that going on. There was a lot of stress under Steve. He's trying to run the show. Also, the sponsors are obviously not happy already with the ticket sales, which kind of the whole thing is like Steve's just in charge of bringing the show.
Yeah, that's your job to ticket sales.
He has presented you something to sell.
Yeah.
You, knowing the community, go out and sell.
Yeah.
I've delivered you a product, and I'm sure at every check of the way, we need this, we need this, we need this, we need this, which, he delivered all of those things. Mm-hmm. These are all the things that I have delivered for you.
You needed a ring, you needed some show, and you needed a name.
We did all that. I've delivered this for you, and every check of the way you'd be like, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds great. That sounds like a great idea. Because I have put together shows like that. I was putting together one in Connecticut before all this fell apart, and he was happy with everything. So much, in fact, that when we canceled, he goes, oh, we're doing this again, and we're making it bigger.
Yeah, great.
So, like, So, like, for somebody who's you're presenting the show to, and they've checked every box, for them to turn back and you like, why the fuck are we not selling tickets? Well, that's a question for you. That's
you need to have somebody on your own side of the table.
That's where you come in. You sell the tickets because a lot of this money is going to you. Mm-hmm. I have made sure that these psychopaths have showed up on a timely fashion. And when I say psychopaths, I also mean drug addict.
Yeah. A little bit A, a little bit of B.
A little bit of A, a little column B.
A lot of B.
A whole lot of B, as we will discuss. But let's just go ahead and start diving into it, and things will come up as we go. But that's kind of how the stage is set. There's some tension before the door is even open.
Yes.
But when the doors open, they see a tag team match.
They sure do, and arguably the best match on the show.
Arguably, I will agree with that. Team Action taking on Joey Sylvia and Caleb Connolly, which me and Joey Sylvia used to team against Team Action all the time.
Yeah.
So much, in fact, that Team Action's finisher was Death from Above.
Yeah, the Mexican surfboard double stomp.
Yes, me and Joey Sylvia's finish was Death from Below.
Oh.
Because I would have somebody up in a powerbomb position, and Joey Sylvia would jump off the top rope from a backcracker situation.
Barf.
Well, it was more bad on me because once he grabbed him, it kind of knocked me loose, so I would lose track of the guy. Like, anytime he came off the top, it was rough. From the second, it was kind of doable, but like I always had to. It almost turned into like a sit out power bomb. So basically, what happened? Joey, so he would jump off the top to give the guy a backcracker. I would lose my balance because that force would knock me loose.
Yeah.
I would then fall almost into a sit out power bomb position, which means I would bottom the ring out for Joey and the person taking the backcracker and fuck all of it. Also, too, they're almost landing on my knees and my ankles. So it was just complete murder for everybody. I got a little bit better, and I realized I got to kind of lean forward a little bit, so that way
make up the impact difference.
Yeah, so when it jerks me forward, it kind of puts me straight again. We got a little bit better towards the end of it, but once I started doing the Man Scout thing, Joey didn't want nothing to do with me.
Of course,
much like most people,
But
I'll tell you what, though. Caleb Connolly and Joey Sylvia make a good goddamn team.
Yeah, they were going at it.
They're a good goddamn team.
Yeah.
To the point I was like, man, they should have teamed together. Fuck me and Joey. Even though like Joey's basically wearing gear that I have matching gear of in that fucking drawer right there.
All right.
I got the matching fucking bikers that Joey has in this particular show.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, they're just sitting right there. But yeah, Team Action, good little indie. I mean, just because they did spots, they kind of got over in North Carolina because everybody's like working on brother.
Yeah,
and like that's why I was like wrestling because I wanted to fucking go.
This would have been Hardy's and Generation Me time too, wouldn't it? They would have been on the beginning of that.
Yeah, they've
been around for a while. Like Team Action had been around for a minute.
Yeah,
haven't they?
Yeah, they've been around for a while.
When they first got started, it was Hardy's and Generation Me, Young Bucks at the time, wasn't it?
Well, Young Bucks would just be kind of coming in their own right now.
Oh, okay.
Like they'd be just being a thing, kind of like nationally, like PWG and everything else going on right now. But Team Action kind of been around between there. Like before Hardy's.
After Hardy's, before
I mean,
Bucks.
yeah, exactly. That little middle ground, that's what Team Action was. And I like Kirby, but he's such a fucking shit disturber that kind of always rubbed people the wrong way. I have never had a problem with Kirby, but if you've seen some of his posts on social media, he likes making people mad.
Of course.
So, and TJ is a sweetheart.
I never met TJ.
Oh, TJ's the sweetest man. He's such a nice fucking dude. And everybody would give him shit like, oh, he's not as good. And everybody would tell him all the time he wasn't good. It wasn't as good as his brother. Wasn't as good as his brother. Wasn't as good as his brother. And then like Kirby got hurt because of like Hernandez gave him some power bomb on the outside or something like that.
Gave him the fucking border toss.
Yeah, pretty much. And fucked him all up. And so then TJ had to wrestle, so I wrestled TJ in some singles matches, and we had some really great fucking matches. Like I was like kind of like, hey man, I want to show that you can fucking wrestle too, and we had some great fucking matches together.
Yeah.
So, I look fondly upon that, except for our hour-long match we had. I did an hour with Team Action.
Oh, good for you, bud.
There was a time that I was as best as I've ever been, and that would have been that time because it took.
Everything you had?
Everything I had. They even shaved a couple minutes, but I went 55 legit minutes with Team Action. So that was a different time, my friend.
It was a different time.
But great cutoff. I like the fucking match. I did like the double DVD spot. But yeah, I forgot the whole fucking Death from Above finish, and I was just like, ooh, I forgot how much that sucked, and I remember how I always would pawn that off onto Joey Sylvia. Oh, every time. I always found a way to never take that.
Well, at your size, you'd have been way too big to take it anyway.
How'd you know what I used to say?
Come on. You weigh like 230 in this. God damn.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm too big.
Too big. He can't even get up Caleb in this match. So, I mean.
Well, and the funny thing is, the worst part was never the double stomp. It was after the double stomp happened.
Where you land?
When they just fucking just drop you and you land on your head out of the Mexican surfboard. Mm-hmm. That's always the worst part. And Caleb's back of his neck went straight for the bottom rope.
And landed there, too. I messaged Caleb. I was like, do you remember getting like excessively hurt in this match? And he's like, no, why? I was like, because I know why your neck's all fucked up. Mm-hmm. They fucking double stomp him right and just let his head bounce off of that rope. Like, it fucking doesn't even matter. Like, he's a goddamn mulkey. Yeah,
just fucking let the bottom rope snap his fucking neck. Yeah, we don't give a shit.
Killed that man.
Do you want to talk about commentary?
This one was this Thomas Simpson and Tyshawn
Williams, the man who actually technically owns all of those legend figures right there.
Come get him, motherfucker.
Listen, he still owes me like $1,100, so I now own all of your Jakks Legend Classic figures. They're mine now. Unless you want to clear away that debt, then you can have your Jakks Classics figures.
Is that ring yours or is that his?
Oh, the ring. Well, actually, you know what? Here's the thing. Here's something. This is how Tyshawn Williams operates.
Okay.
He will leave behind all the stuff that he's paid for, but he will then take all the stuff with him, all the things that he says he's going to pay for, because then he can be like, well, I paid for that. Give me that back. Where the thing that he hasn't paid for, he has it, and it's not physically present or around.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what about that? You didn't pay for that. Like, nah, I get that to you. But he can come back and claim the stuff that he's paid for.
Ah.
So everything that he's left behind, he's paid for. But there's a lot of stuff that he hadn't paid for yet, but took it home, but said he was going to pay for it. Well, that's all his now.
Yeah.
That's how he works. So
he's a piece of shit.
I'm trying to turn the other cheek at the same time too, leaving me holding the bag $1,100.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, at one point in time it was $1,500.
Oh, who paid $400 to you?
He did.
Lies.
No, he did. See, what happens was the first time when he lived with me, it was like $1,500, $1,700 because of he was supposed to take care of the cable and then he wouldn't pay the cable bill and then I have to pay for the fucking like late fees and all that stuff, and then it fucked up my credit because it was in my name, but he was in charge of paying that bill, but he never paid that bill, and then he got behind on rent, and then he just said fuck this and left. And then when Tyshawn came back to work for High Spots and we let him back in, he stayed at the High Spots house. But I was very upset that he just basically ran off and had this debt behind. So what he did and I told him, like, you better fucking give me some goddamn shit.
Yeah.
Another thing he's smart at is he realized, okay, I owe you money. How about I give you $100 right now?
Yeah.
And then another week later, I'll give you another $100. And then another week, I'll give you $50. And then I won't give you any more after that.
I gave you $50.
Yeah, I'm working on it. And like, but the thing is, he's been around. He's already worked. He's already, entrenched himself there. And like, all right, he's here. Like the hope of possibly getting money, but then he'll start doing things for you that don't come out of his pocket, which was always his problem because it came out of somebody else's pocket. But at first he shows up with money and pays, and you think, oh, this is gonna be a regular thing, or this is a thing that could happen every once in a while. Because sometimes he would get in a mood like, Jake Madden, I'm gonna make it right with you, and he would maybe give a little bit, or maybe he wouldn't. But there's always that promise. So like I said, he went from like $1,700 to $1,500 down to $1,100. Yeah. I got it written down somewhere. I have not forgotten. I will hang on to a grudge like Michael Jordan will. That's how I do it. So that kind of set for a while. So I'm trying, but then somebody told me one time you just need to let that go.
Fuck that.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too.
That's someone's not owed money.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. But somebody's like, you need to let all that anger go. And see, that's another goddamn thing I hate. Yeah, I can get me on my goddamn soap. You know what I fucking hate? Is when people tell me how I should live my goddamn life. Yeah. I'm sick of fucking people telling me that I need to love myself more. And it's very hard to love me when I don't love myself. Fuck you. That's why you're here. That's I just like I'm sick and tired of everybody saying like, well, you're just so busy, and I'm sick and tired of getting seconds. Fuck off. I love goddamn wrestling. This is all I've ever wanted to do. And don't you want to be with somebody who knows what fucking love is? Or do you want to be with some fucking schlub that's around on the weekends whose fucking personality is based upon quoting lines from The Office? Who's got a fucking schlubby ass body and doesn't know what actual fucking love is and to dedicate your life to something? Hey, that's a fucking question for you. Well, just because this guy's around, and giving you first dibs at whatever he has, but he doesn't have anything. And he doesn't know how to fucking love anything. He doesn't know how to dedicate his life to fucking something. You rather have somebody like that? Go the fuck right ahead. Or you want to fucking be around a guy that knows how to dedicate his life to somebody? You're my friend. You know how I fucking treat you. I'll murder somebody for you. I'll be standing next to you in a legal battle, which by the time this comes out, maybe I've already put my goddamn suit on and I've stood in a court of law with you.
You're real nice to the 9 suit because Kevin Thorne made you.
Yeah.
Called your shit.
Because, motherfucker, that's who the fuck I am. And I'm sick and tired of being told that it's not fucking good enough. And I am giving people seconds because of who I am. Second helpings instead of first helpings. I'm sick of that goddamn shit. Fuck off. I am who I am. You fucking take me as I am or get the fuck out of my life.
And they all got out.
All right. So, Match number 2.
We did it at the beginning of the show instead of the end. That's a change.
Well, I mean, we just recorded the other one.
You did get a good diatribe off a minute ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm getting them out. I'm getting it out. Getting it all out of me now. Match number 2, Premier Tag Team Championship match. C.W. Anderson, Ricky Landell versus Ruthless, Ryan Sawyer, and Professor Kevin Payne. Do you know any of these individuals?
I do not know those two boys.
You should. They were very much Steve's students. I believe this is their first year of wrestling. It's kind of a situation of Steve trains them to wrestle. I'm like, hey, I can get you on shows in North Carolina, but also come and help set up the ring. Yeah, they're my shows and also help with the ring.
Gave me the George end.
Oh yeah, these are definitely George's students level of.
All right.
So for
Steve's
sure.
Outlaws.
Yeah, these are Steve's Outlaws. And he put belt on these Outlaws.
Yeah, like you should. They're going to show up.
Exactly. Showed up, dedicated, worked hard on all the New Jersey shows, but obviously very green. As you can tell in this match. Of course, Carino starts this match with a promo, trying to get heat, and nobody giving a fuck because guess what? It's North Carolina Indie Wrestling 2008. Nobody gives a fuck about anything.
And I can only assume that these people aren't there for wrestling and more to just support this charity show.
Nobody at independent wrestling shows in 2008 was there to see fucking wrestling. It was the weirdest guy. They fucking went because that's what you fucking did.
Yeah.
It was like going to the gym. For some of these fucking people, like I go to the gym every Saturday. This is what I do because fucking wrestling, or I do that. And it's the dumbest goddamn shit. There were people that bought tickets from like 2007 to 2009 in indie wrestling. I don't even know why the fuck they were there. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't buy merch. They didn't give a shit. They just sat around and be like, oh, this is so much better when Jim Crockett Promotions was running, or like, oh, I'm at wrestling, or oh, Vince McMahon's product's awful. But they're just fucking there. Will you fucking get goddamn excited about the idea of people wearing a pro wrestling t-shirt with fucking laminate buttons on a fucking denim jacket and be like, hey, cool, bro, awesome, man, I really appreciate you, an independent artist and shit like that. If you ever need me to write a fanzine about you, I'll fucking do that because I fucking love wrestling. Those fucking people didn't fucking exist. You just had motherfuckers with cell phones attached to their fucking belt loops saying they're pro wrestling fans, buying tickets, but sitting in the goddamn bleachers with fucking gray t-shirts with a pocket on there and just sitting there with your hands on your fucking hips because you're miserable and you don't know how to fucking love anything.
Now from a word from our sponsors. You good?
I'm sorry.
You need a break?
I have PTSD.
No shit.
From this era of fucking wrestling, because it was so fucking miserable. I can't even begin to describe to you how fucking awful 2007, 2008, 2009 were. But don't worry, I won't have to describe it. That's what we're going back into. We're going back into the dark ages of independence. All these people,
we're going back in the trenches.
All of these people that now have contracts, all these people that were like, you know what, I think I'm going to quit my regular job because I'm making so much money on indie wrestling. All of those people, they all came around 2010, 2011, 2012. You didn't fucking see this shit. You didn't go through what I fucking went through. No fucking sir. But this is what we're going back to. I know this hell. I know this hell quite fucking well. And then in the words of Mel Gibson in The Road Warrior, if you want out of here, you talk to me. Like, that's just fucking where we're at right now. So, basically this turns into a big schmoz, but then Jake the Snake Roberts runs in.
Yeah, he doesn't run. Runs a word.
Runs a word that I don't know if we need to use.
Yeah, no, ain't no running going on here, champ.
Nope. He's no champ of not running. That's what he is. He's the champ of not running.
Yeah.
So, and then, this was definitely a time that I'm like, I really should have plugged the live microphone into the audio board because you can't hear a goddamn word that Jake Roberts says in this promo.
Well, you probably couldn't hear it anyway.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have understood it if you could hear it.
No, you couldn't. But you can definitely hear the ring announcer though.
Yeah.
Who is Eddie Rich, ER, who was the one that drove Jake the Snake Roberts to the show, and during the show, Jake needed to use ER's car. He goes, I need to do something real fast in your car alone.
What did he have to do alone?
Smoke crack.
Oh, okay.
He smoked crack. And they were parked on school grounds.
Right on.
Jake Roberts smoked crack.
At school?
At this school during the show.
Hell yeah.
I feel like I should let you know, what am I going to do? Worry about the reputation of 3K Wrestling? It's defunct now. Like, that motherfucker smoked crack in the ring announcer's fucking car.
What did the ring announcer say about it? Other than, like, I'm sure he let him use the car in the first place, but then, like, afterwards was like, oh shit, guys.
He was freaked out the entire fucking show. He's like, my car now smells like crack.
I didn't even know what crack smells like. Now I do.
Now I do. Pretty much, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, that's what he did.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Oh, it's also, too, this was during a time that Jake Roberts got booked on a show with Scott Dawson. And had to wrestle Scott Dawson. And as you know how tall Jake the Snake Roberts is.
Yeah.
And you know about the height of Scott Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
Jake likes to make fun of people. So he kept calling Scott Dawson Bobo. Come here, Bobo. Hey, Bobo, this is what we're going to do in the match. Scott Dawson, an individual who doesn't like being made fun of.
Yeah.
To let you know.
So some would say no sense of humor?
Yeah. Yeah. Respectfully, got very upset. Got very upset at Jake the Snake Roberts and almost punched him a couple of times.
Right on.
So, yeah, so I always think about that, but definitely Jake the Snake Roberts, not the best. Like, what you see now with Jake the Snake Roberts, I'm glad he has gotten to this, because I saw him during this time.
In the dark ages.
I saw him in the dark
ages.
In
the before times.
But at the same time, too, this was 2008. Like, man, I don't blame you for it. I don't blame you at all for feeling like shit, because fuck, this was a bad time.
Because you were there too.
I was there too, and I was not having a good time either. So fuck off. I agree. Looking real rough, and I'm looking at him in the ring and how he fucking looks, and the thought I wrote down is like, this man's still alive.
Yeah.
Like 12 years later. That man who I see on my television screen, as I watch this on the High Spots Network or on DVD or the howtoskipbook.com, that man on my screen 12 years later would be alive. Some would even say thriving.
at one of his best times.
Having one of his best times. That's crazy.
Yeah.
In the middle of a pandemic. Probably having his best life. What the fuck? Crazy.
A commentary, I believe it's here. I don't think it was later. I think it's here. Thomas Simpson and Tashawn talk about if Damien the Snake is around.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thomas goes, now I like a snake. I like
me a snake. You can't even get it out.
I like me a snake, but not that kind. Not the kind with scales that slithers around. Talking about how a homosexual male loves wiener, but not snakes.
You know, and a lot of people don't like Thomas. I love Thomas. I will agree that when Thomas is drinking, he's not really the best person to hang out with, but I love Thomas Simpson, and especially when he's sober, he's such a fucking pleasure and a joy to hang out with. And also another reason I love Thomas Simpson is, as a gay man in the South, and has been openly gay for a very long time, I love how he makes his sexuality make people feel uncomfortable. It like just says the most inappropriate thing in the most inappropriate of times just to see people fucking squirm. I fucking love that about him. I love the like, there can be this nice setup situation where we're supposed to act proper, and Thomas comes along and says the most sexually charged, depictive comment to probably the most homophobic motherfucker in the room, and he is saying it just to see that man squeal. Like, I just fucking love that. I fucking love that. That shit gives me life, and that's why I enjoyed just about every second hanging around him. There were a couple of times like, we probably shouldn't have done that one. I will look back on this a few years later and laugh. Yes. And that's basically what Thomas has done for me. He's given me a lot of really good fucking laughs with that. And so when I heard that comment as well, I was like,
Thomas Simpson's here.
This is vintage Thomas. Yeah. So, and always had a very distinct laugh.
Yeah. Jake Manning.
Oh, Jake Manning. I could have you meet the Hardy Boys.
Oh, yeah.
There's this was a meme before memes existed, really. There's a screen cap from the Jungle Book, the cartoon version, with King Louie, and he's got his arm around fucking Mowgli, and messing with his hair.
Oh, no.
So somebody put the caption like, "Oh, it's Thomas Simpson," and he's probably saying, "Oh, I can take you to the Hardys."
Thomas Simpson, very good friends with the Hardy brothers in his own mind.
He was the guy that funded Omega.
Yeah.
If you know what Omega is, organized. What were the initials for Omega? Organized Mat Grappling Extreme Arts.
Sure.
Something like that. Something.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever.
Yeah, you guys figure it out.
You figure it out. Much like you need to figure out match number 3, like who's the babyface, who's the heel. And the Battle of the Carolinas with Styx versus Vinny Vane. Now, Vinny Vane, I have a story about him.
Oh, good.
Very interesting.
We're here for stories.
We're here for stories. This may lead into a tirade.
Great.
So
everybody turn down your listening devices. Jake's about to start slapping the fucking table.
I've been pulling away from. Okay, the slapping. I can't. I must apologize, but I've been pulling myself away from the microphone.
If this was Tin Bell, Nick would have sent you a strongly worded message about how you hit that table.
Oh, he definitely
rustled
would.
Some papers.
Well, and you think I'd listen? I
don't know how you run things over there.
Well, let me tell you how Vinny Vane runs his business.
Tell me about Vinny Vane's business.
Vinny Vane. I was on a VCW show, Vanguard Championship Wrestling, out of Virginia, and I was wrestling like 5th match, 6th match. I was later in the card. Vinny Vane, 2nd, 3rd match, probably 2nd match. I was just talking to the guy I was wrestling later that night, and I was going back and forth, and then Vinny's was doing the goodbyes to everybody.
Of course.
And he was leaving during the show, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't have a problem with.
Okay.
If you weren't required or asked to take down the ring or do anything else, and you finished your match and you want to fucking go, get the fuck out of the locker room. Like, I'm 1,000% behind that. I don't give a fuck. No, fuck off. That whole thing, like, if you don't stick around for the main event, you're not gonna be in the main event. No, fuck off. You gotta get the. People got shit they gotta fucking do. All right, like, fuck off. Then, like, get home. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we're driving by ourselves, and we kind of need to fucking get back before we get sleepy, before the sleepy monster gets us. Because the CTE monster's gonna get us. Yeah. But not for years later. But the sleepy monster,
he's gonna follow.
He's gonna get you every night. So here you go. And so he was saying his goodbyes to everybody, and but he was apologizing to everybody for leaving early. And Vinny Vane was like, "Hey, I'm sorry," and then he came over to me and the guy I was wrestling a few matches later, and he goes, "Hey, man, take it easy, man. I'm real sorry. I gotta go. I gotta leave early. My girlfriend's on her period." Excuse the fuck out of me.
What?
You could just said you're going, and I'm not gonna give a why. What?
I don't need the details.
I don't need the details. Also, too, you get grossed up by periods. Yeah. Fuck off, dude. Yeah. Fuck off.
It's much your girlfriend, not your wife, ass dick.
Yeah, no fucking shit. Let me explain to you something.
Is this going to be a period tirade?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
It is going to be one. So, like, I was with a woman, and she was just like, she was very apprehensive. She's like, it's that time of the month. And she was all, like, weirded out by that. And, like, it was, like, her first time hooking up during that time, and she didn't know how I'd take it. And of course, because sometimes fucking don't take it well, like so much that they gotta leave a wrestling show early,
no shit.
Apparently. And like,
you would think you'd want to stay if your girlfriend was on her period.
Yeah. And she was, and so this girl was like, she was trying to like dance around it, and like she wasn't kind of coming out and saying it. And while she was doing that, I literally like walked to my bathroom, and I fucking grabbed the red towel that I keep in my fucking bathroom for particular situations, and I start walking to the bedroom, and I turn around and look at her and go, "Are you fucking coming or not?" Like, I don't fucking say anything about it. I end this conversation. I put the fucking fucking red towel on the bed because I'm a motherfucking man and I fucking don't give a shit about no periods. I don't give a fuck about them. I don't care. They don't bother me. You do what you do. I don't fucking give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And if you like don't want to touch me during the time, fine, great. I'm here for you. If you do want to touch me, I'm there for all of it. I keep a red goddamn towel in my house because I'm a fucking man. Okay?
Gentleman.
That's what a fucking man does, okay? And for you to fucking, and he, you know the thing, he probably wanted to leave anyways, but he made up some dumb shit fucking excuse that he's trying to fucking impress me. No, fuck you, motherfucker.
Push it up on his girlfriend.
I keep a red motherfucking towel in my fucking house for these situations. You're talking to a man, son.
Good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
You got anything to say about this match? Because it's pretty shitty.
Yeah, no, the only thing that I liked in this match at all was he just took a chop in the corner and fell to his knees and hopped right back to his feet really well. That's the only highlight I had for this, so your period tirade's way better.
Oh, yeah. And, like, commentary didn't happen for a while, and then it came back at one point in time.
And then it's Kirby Mack at this point and another dude?
Yeah, I think Joey Sylvia.
Yeah, Joey Sylvia, that's right.
I think they just saw, hey, nobody's on commentary. Let's jump off.
Let's just go do it.
Because I don't think they expected any of this to be seen the light of day.
Yeah. Good thing Kirby's not going for any political office right now. We can just put that out there.
Well, I mean, they just need to check his Facebook page. You know, there's a lot to hate there. Although I don't hate that he went for a Van Terminator. Like Vinny made, and he hit Stick's ankle. I fucking love it.
There you go. That's what you need.
That's any. That
also,
good.
like that finish was real scary too. Like the slop drop, and instead of like just bringing him down, like brother jumps like real. I'm surprised this large man was able to jump that way.
Yeah,
but just it looks so scary and so anticlimactic at the same time.
Oh yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
And they called it a slop drop on the commentary, but it was not that.
No, it was not. Definitely not. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah,
it fucking happened.
Glad it's done.
That's how it's done. Let's continue on. We spent a lot of time on a lot of tirades right now.
Good, because there's not much show left.
There is not. But probably one of the better matches on the show. Match number 4, 3K Wrestling World Openweight title with Eras with his wife Allison Danger, the woman that is carrying his child, as we see in this video, taking on Ricky Reyes.
Yeah.
I love this family of
Mm-hmm.
Allison Danger and Eras. I actually have wrestled against Eras. I've tagged with Eras. He was also the one time that I wrestled in Austria. He was on the same show with me. Marco is the sweetest fucking individual in the entire fucking world. I fucking love him. Love him as a wrestler. I think he had like a very big surgery about a year or two ago. I think he had like a neck fusion of sort. Like he had some issues with his neck or his back. All I can hope is that he's doing well. He's recovered and doing great. And I love everything about this family. I love Allison Danger. I love Marco. And the fact that your brother Steve Carino is secondary to how much I love both of you, your family, and everything about you. So seeing them on screen is quite nice.
Yeah.
So, and just I love this family. Love them to death. Also, too, Eras has quite possibly the best fan burn I've ever heard before in my entire life.
Oh yeah.
Because he's from Switzerland or Swiss.
Okay.
Swiss Money Holding. I think he's from Swiss or Switzerland. But obviously, when you wrestle over there, every country's everything. Because you're usually traveling. Because when I was over there in Austria, there were guys that were like, I was in Germany the other day. I'm like, I got to go to the UK tomorrow, and they would just do loops through fucking countries of Europe wrestling. The way we go through states.
Yeah. Because their countries are about the size of some states.
Yeah, exactly. So
a lot cooler when you do it over there, I guess.
So obviously, Marco does this thing. He speaks in different language sometimes, and he shits on Americans being dumb. And so Eras one time he goes, "You probably don't even know what the capital of Switzerland is." Ha! Burn.
He caught his own burn.
Yes, that's the fucking. That is the fucking. That's the most brilliant joke ever. Ever! That's... Oh, fuck. That's just...
Classic Marco.
That's for sure him. That's unbelievable. I fucking love everything about it. But I love him to death, and not even just for that. It's incredible. Yeah. Although it's a little weird that these two are wrestling, because Ricky Reyes used to team with Rocky Romero, and Ares used to team with Claudio Castagnoli, otherwise known as Antonio Cesaro. So it's like a situation of
our tag team partners left, so now it's us.
I hate to say it, but it's the two Martys wrestling each other. I hate it, but that's
Marty time.
It's Marty time. So, I do love that Allison is still doing heel manager shit
as a pregnant lady
with child.
Yeah,
she is creating life inside of her. She's making a person as we see, and she's still choking a dude on the ropes. I love it.
That's a 2-on-1 right there. That baby's in there helping choke too.
Yeah, I fucking love everything about it. The match is pretty good. It's very typical, like stalling in this and playing the crowd and all that stuff. It's an indie match.
It's what it needed to be where it was.
Yeah, anything.
No, it was just a real good match.
Yeah, the tape definitely ran out of the hard camera because you see the ringside camera for a long period of time,
which is a completely different definition than the hard cam.
Yeah, for sure. This was a point where like no wonder why everybody thinks High Spot's video is so shitty.
Yeah,
but keep in mind, I just set up a hard camera. I'm going over my match in the back. I've hit record and walked away.
Yeah.
I'm peeking out the curtain to see if the red light is still on, to see if it's still going. And if it's flashing, I got to go change the battery. Or change the tape or whatever. Yeah. Either or, it'll flash either way. And then, of course, commentary is just left to whoever walks by and puts the headsets on.
Joey Sylvia's daughter at one point, a small child.
I'm just, because we don't have a professional crew, the people who are your professional video people are also wrestling on the show, and they have a title match, which is coming up next.
Yep.
In match number 5, this is the deciding match for the WWA International title, which they don't show the title, which is basically just an AWA replica belt.
Good.
That is and there's a different plate on it. It is between myself, the Man Scout Jake Manning, versus Lodi.
Yeah, you sign guy.
Yeah.
The man.
Well, let's not go that far. So, and of course, it starts off with a hot start, just like the opener, like we planned.
Like you do. Just like other matches on the show already happened. We'll just do the same exact thing over and over again. Lodi teasing the DDT, even though Jake the Snake Roberts is on the show. Hey, you know?
So, because Lodi normally used the DDT for the finish. That was like his thing. Me and Lodi were feuding a lot at this time. We had a lot of matches against each other at this time.
Yeah.
And he always liked me because I never gave a shit.
Yep.
And just did whatever he wanted to do.
Just put him over proper.
Which he was not happy that he had to put me over in this match.
Oh, of course.
That was a little bit of a discussion, but Lodi was a little bit distracted this evening.
How was Lodi distracted, Jake?
Because when Jake the Snake Roberts showed up to the show, he looked over at Lodi and he kind of had a confused look on his face. And all of a sudden he sat there and looked at Lodi, and Lodi was like, man, why is Jake Roberts staring at me? And all of a sudden Jake Roberts got up and walked over to Lodi and was like, hey man, I just want to tell you, they should have done more with you in WCW. they really dropped the ball with you, and they should have done a lot more with you, and your career should have been so much better. You were so good, and I hated that it turned out the way that it did for you. I'm real sorry about that. And so then Lodi's like, oh my gosh, Jake Roberts told me that I've got all this goddamn ability and I should have been used more and sees my true potential and how good I am. Oh my God.
I'm going to go work my ass off out here now.
Yeah, pretty much. He wanted to go work his ass off, and then Jake's like, hey, I need somebody to make me a blade if you need me to gig on this main. And Louis like, I'll make you a blade. And all of a sudden, Jake was like, I need to go. I don't even know where the concession stand is. And Louis like, I'll go to the concession stand for you. He was just all whatever. There were a couple times where I saw Lodi running in his gear, I gotta go get this for Jake. Anybody got any tape for Jake? Anybody? He was always just running around. And then all of a sudden, a little while later, Lodi walked in and he wasn't moving around like a chicken cut with his head cut off, doing stuff for Jake.
Yeah.
And he's kind of moving real slow, and then he went over the match with me and he was kind of bummed out. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. And then all of a sudden I know CW pretty well. I still know him very well, and this is right as I'm getting very comfortable with CW. And I go to CW, I go, what the fucking deal? What happened to Lodi? He's running all over the place. And CW goes, oh, You didn't hear? And I go, no, but do tell, because you have a story. And CW goes, oh, did you heard about Jake complimenting Lodi and telling them they should have done more than WCW, right? And I go, yeah. And I go, and CW goes, yeah, he said that because he thought Lodi was Perry Saturn.
So dejected Lodi's not Perry Saturn.
So as soon as he found out, he was very dejected that he wasn't Perry Saturn.
Oh, poor Lodi.
So that's something I remember from the show. So I was going out there with a dejected Lodi.
Who didn't want to do the job for you.
I wouldn't say that he refused, but I don't think he was as happy.
Yeah.
So I definitely know that he would have preferred. It definitely had to be a screw job finish. He wasn't putting me over clean.
Oh, no, God, no, come on.
Dear gosh, no, he was not putting me over clean. So that's why the finish happened the way it happened. Bumping on the fucking floor. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Oh, well, I mean, you were like hard into beating yourself up at that time either. Like, you're probably still new to it then.
I don't know. I've always been very angry inside, and I don't know why, but yeah, I might have been a little bit happier at this time. I don't know. I was definitely almost 220, 230 at this time.
Yeah, you were. You were fucking a beefy boy.
Oh, this beef boy right here.
Fuck. I don't even know how it hurt. All that shit just protecting you.
I know, right? Like, I definitely would have been on Ethan Page's Body Guy show for sure.
You were definitely a man scout then.
Oh, I was a man for sure. This is definitely when I was coming down from weighing 270. And this is probably when I was like stalled right at 230 for a while. Like, and I was trying to figure out how I could get leaner.
Yeah.
This is when I had no clue about like fitness whatsoever. This is like during the time of life that Cole Cabana still makes fun of me for, when I said that I felt like I was retaining too much water, so I just stopped drinking water. And Cole's like, "What? You did what?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I did. I just felt like I was retaining too much water, so I just drank Coke Zero all the time."
Duh.
It worked.
Fuck do you do?
It fucking worked. That's how dedicated I am. So, because I know how to love something.
That's right. Just not myself.
Just not myself. But I like where I go for the 619. I did the Jeff Jarrett punch.
Yeah.
That's what I stole from is Jeff Jarrett. Act like you're going to do the 619, slide out and give the guy a rough punch right in the face. That's the Jeff Jarrett move. And I fucking love it every fucking time.
Jeff Jarrett's the man. He's Teflon.
Yeah.
Can't be touched.
No chance.
Nothing sticks.
Absolutely. This is actually before I did my flatline combo, which is the straight back cracker. I thought I was gonna I'd see some moves.
I thought that Lodi fucked up when you just did the back cracker.
No, this is before I figured, because I'd been watching, because the back cracker I got from Billy Robinson tapes. Yeah. And I'm like, I want to start doing that because nobody else is doing that. So I would just drop motherfuckers like that. But then all of a sudden, I remember Charlie Dreamer was like, "What if you turn that into like the fucking mic check deal, a little flatliner?" I'm like, "All right," and I did it, and there was just such a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
And I've been able to hit it on people who are much bigger than me.
I think you've done it to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I've done it with people with a decent amount of size. There was almost a discussion where I was like, can I do this to Ryback? Like I was like,
and he was like, no.
Well, he was all for everything I wanted.
Really?
In the same way that I feel about Kevin Thorne, and you probably feel about Ryback, and in the same way that you're like, no, Kevin Thorne's a cool dude.
Yeah,
I'm that way with Ryback.
Okay, hell yeah.
Ryback's my dude, man. There are a lot of people that don't like him online.
Not you.
Not me.
You're not one of those people.
I've gone on my way to put that man over as many times as possible, and he has done the same.
Oh, good for you.
Good fucking dude. A good fucking dude. Yeah, I don't fucking. Oh, even though I'm 230, do you see that fucking twist off that fucking clothesline?
Yeah, looking good, bud.
I was a mover, man.
Now you're like 130.
Yeah, I'm about 130 right now. So I can't do that to save my life. I'll pop up my shoulders if I do that. So
knee will explode halfway through.
Absolutely, that'll ruin fucking everything. But yeah, this match happened.
Yeah.
Pretty standard Jake Manning 2008 match. I don't hate it.
Nobody gave a shit.
Nobody gave a shit.
Why are you going to put too much into it?
Yeah, pretty much. We did it.
I love this where we actually get some camera angle switching up. A lot of that. So I was like, when I messaged you, I was like, did you do the film editing on this? And you're like, yep. It's like, that's why.
Yeah, I wanted my match to look good.
Exactly. So there's just all these different angles and stuff. We finally get a little bit little something, even though that one camera's shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just what I thought. Make my match look good.
Of course.
Okay. Like, listen, if you're a wrestling promoter and you want your wrestling show to look good, book me on it in a prominent position, and I will make your show look good. Northeast Wrestling's figured that shit out.
Yeah.
Because
you're fighting Ryback up there.
Yeah, I'm fighting Ryback up there. I was gonna wrestle Dan Moff before all this shit happened.
Oh man,
I was gonna fight a fucking beast. I was gonna have to fight that monster. But yeah, like they put me in a feature spot. Guess what? I will work hard to make sure that this show looks good. Shows you don't book me on or cancel me off of the week of. Guess what? I don't give a fuck.
No camera angles.
None. You better find somebody to edit that god shit because I'm not gonna get to that 4 weeks. But yeah. But we don't have a week to go over the rest of the show. Let's get to match number 6. The $1,000 highspots.com Battle Royal, which is not a Battle Royal.
No, it is not.
But it consists of 3 people.
Yeah.
Mike Lee, the Asian sensation. The other man who is probably definitely my longest friend in North Carolina. Definitely one of my best friends. Between you two, you have to fight it out who's going to be the best man at one of my marriages, which...
We'll switch. He can go first, I'll go second.
And see, this is another reason why I love you. I love you when I text you last week and I said, Zane, because I was very down, I was very bummed out. I go, Zane, I feel like I'm in trouble. And your reply to me was gorgeous. And it's why we were friends. And basically your reply was, you're like, oh shit, who'd you fall in love with and or move in with you? Like who? I like that those are the 2 things that you're like, all right, this motherfucker fell in love too fast, and did he tell this girl to move in with him?
Zane Riley, the words were, Zane Riley, why do I do this to myself?
Yeah.
Oh, what'd you do?
Yeah. See, I like that you understand what my faults are, and Mike Lee is very much the same, but he's. You know, you two have been there for me, so you're alternating best man.
That's fine. I understand.
So you guys figure you flip a coin and see who goes first.
I'll stand
just
beside,
like war games. Like war games. You flip a coin.
We'll stand side by side beside you.
Okay.
We'll be together. Yeah.
So because nobody else fucking matters. It's you two.
It's just us two.
You two. And of course we have Triple M. We also have. I forget what the other guy. I got it right.
You got it right there on that box.
I got it right here on the box. No, actually, I know. It just says the highspots.com Battle Royal. I forget what the other guy's name is. God damn it, I don't fucking have it. Who gives a shit? Yeah. Nobody's listening anyways.
You're real Bob Euchre here in a minute. I forgot this match happened minus the fact that Mike Lee was there.
Yeah. And that's the thing, too. Like, Mike Lee was another one. Like, I had a really good... Mike Lee's retirement match was really fucking good.
Yeah?
Maybe I'll put it on 10 Bell Pod's Patreon page. I don't know. Maybe we'll put my match with Ares on 10 Bell Pod Patreon page. The retirement match of Mike Lee, I'll put that on the 10 Bell Pod Patreon page. I might as well make money off of it.
Might as well.
I definitely own the rights to it, because guess what? Tyshawn was a promoter of those, and he owes me $11,000, so I just own CWA footage.
There you go. Fuck him.
Fuck him. It's a legal document now. They also hit a DDT in this fucking Battle Royal.
You know, because you're supposed to.
Nobody's throwing anybody over the top rope. Did you see how high up Mike Lee got for that choke slam?
Good for him.
Fucking
Mike Lee could go.
Goddamn right he did. And people fucking forget that. I saw Mike Lee have a match with Jeff Lewis. It was incredible.
That's a wild sentence.
It was all Mike Lee.
Fucking nuts.
Mike Lee fucking... in front of 20 people. I don't know why he did this at a fucking like fairgrounds in Asheville. He jumped off the fucking top rope to the floor. I don't know why the fuck he did that. But he fucking did, and it was beautiful.
Because he's an Asian sensation.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? There's a perfectly good ring you could have fucking jumped in.
Now you see Mike Lee, and he's just hanging out, just a dude in some Nike shorts.
He's fucking Black Shoes.
Yeah.
If you're a $5 wrestling fan, it's Black Shoes. Black Shoes was a great fucking wrestler, and nobody remembers it, but I fucking remember. And anybody who is a patron of 10 Bell Pod, you will remember as well.
You will see.
The finish to this.
Commentary gets real racist.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's throughout the entire thing, but especially in the next match, they do a whole lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But commentary gets good here.
Yes.
About Mike Lee making all kinds of good Family Guy references from the time.
Yes, and then we get to the finish, which this is the whole reason that Triple M is on the show.
Oh, really?
This whole spot is created, and Mike Lee even backed this up when we had a discussion. He said this whole spot was created to get this guy over.
Was he supposed to be something soon?
No.
Okay, cool.
This guy, this man,
Triple M,
said, I can do this if you put me on the show. I want to be on the show so bad that I will do this, which is the finish of this match. Which, as you remember, the finish of this match is he lights his hand on fire and gives a heart punch.
Yes.
If for no other reason, if you're like, I'm a fan of How Did This Get Booked, but I don't really need to watch the shows they're discussing, and they're doing an indie show, I'm like, all right, I'm along for the ride because I know Jake Manning is going to go on some deep personal fucking tirades.
Gotten a couple, this one.
Give me some backstage information that's going to be fun that I don't even need to really see a wrestling show for, but I highly recommend that you see this man light his hand on fire and give another person a heart punch.
I love that I'll light my hand on fire was you're in.
Yeah, and we're going to create this for you, and we created this. We're going to put you in a battle royal, which you're going to win by pinfall.
But set your hand on fire to punch somebody first.
Or else you don't be on this fucking show.
Yeah. Fuck off.
Which apparently Zicky Dice basically did that with Revolver. He was supposed to do something, and he in like one of the scramble matches, and he fucked it up and he didn't do it, and then Sam was like, well, fuck, I'm never booking you again. And then all of a sudden he became NWA fucking
television
champion, and all of a sudden he goes, well, fuck, I need you on my Mania show.
Yep.
So
crazy how that works, huh?
It's fucking weird, man. We're Triple M, never heard of the guy.
Nope.
He came through in his promise.
Never
heard of
used
the guy
him again.
Zicky Dice failed miserably on his attempt to get on a show.
Most over man alive right now.
Yeah, pretty much. And fuck Jake Manning.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Fuck Jake Manning. I know he's been around for a while. I've heard of him before.
Yeah.
I've heard of him before, but we ain't going to do anything with him. Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Speaking of fuck off, match number 7 is a consolidation match. Because I love that this whole match is basically like a passion play. This mixed tag is a passion play to represent that these people in this town don't want consolidation. And this guy was connected with the people who are putting the show on, like, we don't want to consolidate with this school.
Yeah.
Which sounds fucking nationalistic.
It's very...
Because the school that I go to no longer exists.
Okay.
We consolidated with our arch rival.
Oh, what?
East Central.
Those motherfuckers.
But here's the thing. East Central was going to go... That school was going to go out of business in about a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
Preston was trending in that direction and probably would have had to close their doors a few years later anyways. It was trending that way. It wasn't happening yet. It wasn't as soon as East Central, but it was getting to that point, and there had always been talk that they would be better because we already kind of co-opted a few classes. Like German was over in East Central, but Spanish was over in Preston. So like we kind of shared classes to give the proper curriculum to help students be more prepared for college. So we were already kind of doing that, and we tried to consolidate football teams, and that didn't work, and then we split up, and it was always a discussion we'd be better together, but there was always so much bad blood. A lot of people that lived in the towns, like they refused, like if you lived in Miles and Sibylla, you've refused to buy a house in Preston, and if you're in Preston, you refused to live over there in Miles for whatever reason, and it was just always this bad fucking blood, but there was always this sentiment that we would be better together, and possibly if we came together, things could be good. But anytime we ever tried or came close, it was always contentious.
Yeah. Well,
East Central was basically going to fucking go under.
Yeah.
And then Northeast got involved. And everybody fucking hates Northeast.
And they're like, nope, we'll get together and fight Thanos.
Pretty much. Because basically, and the reason why Northeast got involved is if they took on all of East Central students, they would get... several $100s for every student.
Oh.
So almost like the way the prisons are, that's what Northeast was. They were trying to, so when there was discussion, push for consolidation and like, well, maybe this is time. Maybe we can come together. Maybe we could come together on our own terms. And the thing is, Northeast too recognized that if they took on all East Central students and Preston goes out of business, we'll scoop up theirs too and we'll get money for Preston students as well eventually down once they go out of business. And so Preston people didn't want that because fuck Northeast. Yeah. I actually have a T-shirt, a Northeast Rebels football camp T-shirt, and it's red and black, which are the Preston school colors, and at the bottom it says "Beat Preston." I have that shirt because we beat them 42-0.
Yeah, suck it.
Because we hated those motherfuckers so much. So we recognized this danger. We recognized that we've always had this inkling that we'd be better together. So we came together, but Northeast got into a lot of East Central people's heads, and it was very contentious, and they pushed it all the fucking, it was very, they had to go through votes. There was, legal battles. They blocked it for as long as they could. It was a big hubbub, but finally they got Easton Valley set up and structured, and we blocked out fucking Northeast and fucked them over. And consolidation became a good thing. We redid our schools. We had it all set up. And the person that was at the helm of that was my father. Now, my father stepped up and ran for school board president when he had no kids going to school. He had no horse in the race.
Yeah.
He could have just let them fight it out. But he knew as an individual, you need a responsible individual that understood compromise, but also would do what's best for the students and not have clouded vision. So he stepped up, ran for school board president because he had background in politics, because he was the mayor of Spragueville and came together and was the best mayor that they ever had, even though he won because of 21 write-in votes, and it was done as a joke. Doesn't make a difference. My dad recognized he was the best man for the job and took these two warring factions, brought everybody together, brought them to the table, made everybody happy, came up with compromise, and basically set up the whole structure of the fucking school and pushed forward, and because of consolidation, and it became a good thing. And the reason it was a good thing is my dad was at the forefront of that and did that because he's a goddamn man, and he has a fucking red towel in his fucking house right now. That's why. I'm from good stock, motherfucker.
Good stock.
Good stock. That was the first one. When I was 13 years old, I was told make sure you have a red goddamn towel in your fucking house at all moments in time.
Do you have a red towel in your bug out bag?
I got a red pair of shorts just in case.
Close enough.
Close enough. Listen, I'm ready for the post-apocalyptic world. Okay, I'm prepared. I'm prepared. I even slipped a few condoms in there, just in case. I got a couple in there. A couple, just to let you know. Slipped a couple blue chews in there.
You gotta be ready.
I'm looking for a good time. Yeah, I'm looking for a good time at the end of the world.
Trying to fuck.
Just trying to get it in. But yeah, so when they talk about fucking consolidating, I'm like, oh, that was a good thing for my town. And you just sound like the fucking assholes at Northeast.
Yeah.
And I don't know if everybody was on board with that. So I haven't checked in to see if Robertson
still around.
Still around, but like Daphne's side was supposed to be the non-consolidation side.
Okay.
And they put a t-shirt on Daphne. I don't know why you do that. Makes no sense to me.
Hey.
She was wrestling.
It's a family show.
Well, she took it off eventually, and she wrestled obviously Daphne and Alex Balboa versus Ava Destruction and Sean Hayes. Alex Balboa, I think, wrestled in Japan.
Oh.
Like Steve got him a couple tours, but he got in some serious trouble when he started bringing weed over.
Oh, good job.
And put it in a peanut butter jar.
Yep.
So
they don't take jokes over there like that.
I think that's Alex Balboa. I'm not 100% for sure, but I've heard that story before.
Yeah.
I think that was Alex Balboa. If I'm speaking wrong, Alex, just
what are you gonna do?
You're probably not listening to this. So yeah, this was weird. 6 man. It's what it was. Ava took a nice bump off Daphne's, which Daph was always good.
Fucking hilarious.
Daphne's. Daphne had some cool stuff.
I like Daphne.
I like Daphne too.
This is where they talk about fat chicks the whole time on commentary.
Oh, I did not hear that.
Yeah, they talk about fat chicks and they do the Family Guy Cool Whip reference for fucking ever. This might also be where they bring up on this day a very historical act occurred. O.J. Simpson went to jail for life.
Okay.
That happened on this day because they talk about it. So they talk about that a lot.
That's funny. He's out now.
Yeah. Yeah, hey,
he's got a Twitter account.
He can get Twitter in jail.
No, OJ's out.
I'm sure.
He's out. Ain't no sure about it. That's a fact.
What else was on this one? It might have not been this one. It might have been one of the previous ones. I think it was
the hand on fire, the flaming fist. That's Thomas Simpson's finisher.
No, there was.
You didn't hear that one?
One. This one I'm thinking of is where it gets anti-Semitic, and he goes, "Oh, I'm Jewish." He goes, "I could tell by your oversized nose." Yeah. Oh fuck! And then just a whole bunch of you're gay. Gay. The whole mess of that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and then Alice in Danger was talking only to the blacks. That was another line.
God bless you.
Yeah.
It got really bad. They didn't think this was going to see the light of day.
I can imagine so.
But it has been discussed on a podcast.
It's come back up.
And I'm glad that you have broken down every issue to absolve us of all wrongdoing.
We don't agree with any of it.
We don't agree with any of it at all. At all. But what we do agree with, it is now time for match number 8, the main event. The 15-foot high steel cage, Jake the Snake Roberts, Kevin Payne, Ryan Sawyer taking on the Extreme Horsemen, Ricky Landell, C.W. Anderson, and Steve Corino. Jake starts. It's just a regular tag inside of a cage.
Which is weird as shit.
It is.
And it's also weird that I would assume our payoff is Jake getting Steve, but he gets him immediately.
Yeah. You think that would be the thing? Because
we build to
it, and then he finally gets a DDT on Steve, which he did. But before we get there, Jake's got to bleed.
Mm-hmm. Steve has to bleed.
Yes, he does. Did you... funny story.
Yes.
So like I said, at the onset of this podcast, and the onset of the discussion of this particular wrestling show, there was a lot of discussion about money, and I think even Steve got in a loud argument with his point person from the EMS and the fundraiser people about money, about them not drawing well, the concession stands not doing well, and Steve's just trying to run a wrestling show as he was asked.
Yes.
And there was a lot of discussion, a lot of people at the end of the night that are very mad at him and may not give him his money, or they're going to be very mad at him. And basically, I mean, there was tension in the locker room, and there was definitely tension around Steve, and you could feel it. The one thing that I love about Steve is he wears his heart on his sleeve. You can tell how he is and how he feels because of how you look at him and how you see him. He was stressed to the max, and everybody in that building, those people in the building that felt that he did an awful job, or basically wanted to fucking burn him at the stake at the end of this thing. But conspiracy theory. When it comes time to gig himself in a cage, he might have cut himself a little deeper than he would normally, and gigs himself real good, and starts bleeding
fucking everywhere.
Bleeding so bad that the EMS, the people who were mad at him, are now going into the ring to check on him after the match. And I always heard a story of a guy that did a paid show, and he was supposed to deliver Sting, but he delivered NWO Sting.
Yeah, hey, same guy.
And he got the fundraiser people mad at him, and he also wrestled on the show, and he gigged himself so deep that he had to be taken out in an ambulance and avoid any repercussions from it.
There you go.
And it's kind of always been a famous story, and it's always been a thing that's been around. So I always wondered,
did he do it here also?
Did Steve also kind of manipulate these people who were mad at him? Because at the end of the show, they were all taking care of him. They went from there being all this tension to fucking Steve fucked us over. To, oh my gosh, I hope Steve's okay. Almost like a psychological play. And turn around, and I.
You mean tell me that Steve Corino is the real cerebral assassin?
I'm implying that as well, and I think he even used Marcus Dowling to be in it. Because during the match, he had Marcus Dowling run to the fucking back and make a big. He's Dowling, who I love dearly, is a fantastic human being. Good follow on Facebook. He's got some intellectual thoughts that I really dig, and some interesting opinions that I like, and I express. That I'm glad he's expressing. And he went to the back and started screaming, "Oh shit, Steve really cut himself. Steve really cut himself. Steve really," almost was like his
Paul Revere?
Yes. And he's supposed to be managing, but he's in the back yelling, "Oh shit, I need some tape. I need some tape. I need some tape. I need some tape." And that's where you see the tape. Marcus Dowling ran to the back and got some tape and taped it around his fucking head
to stop the blood.
Stop the blood. And basically all that. So that the bonus footage, you see them getting in the ring. All those people that were in the ring checking on Steve were all the people that were yelling at him earlier in the day.
Nice. I love the bonus footage. At one point, Steve just goes, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah,
it's real loud.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's why it's bonus footage.
And then Thomas Simpson screaming, "Oh, Steve's okay!"
And the whole time, like, Steve's like, "Shut the fuck up! I'm supposed to be. I'm
getting out of here.
I'm getting out of here." And I'll never forget. After we had everything packed up, Steve was still
in the ring.
No, after we took the ring out, was laying on the bleachers, and like they were still tending to him.
Nice.
And when I left the building after we took the cage down, after we took the ring down, we set up the took down the merch table, took down the cameras, packed everything up, and we're about to pull out of there and leave. Steve was like laying on the bleachers, and people were still tending to him. Those same people that hated him had a different vibe around him.
Of course.
So what I'm saying is that is a masterclass. You take people that are mad at you, and now they feel sorry for you. So that's what I remember the most about this show. Anything else?
There was something that was said in one of the matches. It's back to Kirby Mack and Alice in Danger, and I messaged you about it. I messaged a couple people about it, and no one has any idea about it. But Allison and Kirby talk about a scenario in which Caleb Conley and Samoa Joe are cousins. And I was hoping that was a real thing of the time.
You'll have to talk to Alice in Danger.
Man, I'm going to fucking do it.
Unless that's a big joke on Caleb, because I've always had this theory about Caleb.
That he's Samoa Joe's cousin?
No. I always feel like that Caleb is a fat kid trying to run away from being fat.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he was a chubby little kid. Yeah. He's made fun of that. He's got like poor genetics.
2008 Samoa Joe would have been a...
Yeah, like if he didn't work out as much as he does and watch out for fitness, like he always has, even when I used to make fun of him, like, hey man, you're fucking 23, you can eat what you want. He goes, no, I can't. And just this obsessive amount that he puts into his diet and working out, like he is basically, it's not because like I want a good body or like, oh, I just want to, I got to be on TV. It's like, no, there's a fat kid inside of me
He's
just dying to come out, and I have to fight him at every fucking pass. So
where you do yours out of hatred, Caleb does his out of fear.
Yes, we run on. We have different engines.
Yeah,
for sure.
Same car.
We're still getting to the same place.
One's a hybrid.
One's a dually.
Yeah. And then another thing, I asked Steve about it if he had any stories, and his only story was that Jake the Snake was not the first get. He had a cancellation, so he had to get Jake the Snake last second.
Oh, that was right. I remember they had somebody advertised, and there was somebody, and it's like, who can we get? And Jake Roberts. Hence why. And I think that's another thing, too, that I was trying to think.
Well, no one knew he was there.
Yes, he made that big surprise, because I was thinking, like, why was Jake the Snake Roberts a surprise if fucking, like, he's the name that they need to bring in for the show?
Because the original name canceled. Couldn't make it.
Gosh, who's the fucking original name?
It was Terry Funk.
Oh, then that would explain why fucking Michael was like, yeah, sure, fucking take my ring and take my fucking cameras to film this thing because I love Terry Funk so much. Yeah. He's going to do something crazy and stupid.
Yeah. Like punch somebody with a flaming fist.
Yes. Well, I mean, he almost... That's another thing. There was a SCW show where Terry Funk wrestled Dusty Rhodes in a cage, and this was a couple weeks after the tribute to the Cade show that we discussed on this podcast before, one of the earlier episodes, which is not a good episode. So if you don't go listen to it, I'm not fucking heartbroken about it. That's the one where Seth Fox didn't even watch the whole fucking show and then had to shit his brains out in the middle of it.
All right.
Yeah, it wasn't a good fucking show over a podcast, but we discussed that show on the podcast. And basically, Tony Hunter didn't have enough money to pay all the guys. And so a lot of people were pretty upset, and some people were still owed money. And Tony Hunter was the referee in that main event with Terry Funk and Dusty Rhodes. And Terry gets out a flaming branding iron and starts waving it around and starts at one point in time going after Tony Hunter, who owes him money.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind that Terry Funk, who is owed money to Tony Hunter, is locked in a cage with Tony Hunter.
Oh, wow. Oh, man.
And Terry Funk has a flaming branding iron and gets it close to fucking Tony's face at one point in time. That's the type of crazy shit. And of course, there's a great fucking story online about me talking about Terry Funk. So that's why this all makes sense now because the cameras are there, why the ring's there, because Michael's like, anytime Terry Funk's around, we got to be there.
Yeah.
If this was Jake the Snake Roberts, none of this would exist.
We wouldn't be there. We wouldn't have this podcast.
But at the same time, too, if Terry Funk was there, we probably wouldn't be discussing on this podcast.
Yeah,
so
it'd be too cool.
It's been a 12-year journey.
Yeah.
Of getting to this, but I think this has been a good episode. Yeah. How did this get booked? Any
Go
other thoughts?
Listen to it for the commentary, guys. What I said about it is not even, man. It gets like parts where I'm just like, man, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's also very loud and it's hard to hear, and it's just people trying to put themselves over.
Oh, it's Thomas Simpson talks about himself in the Hardys immediately.
This is an example of what not to do with the commentary.
Yeah.
This is definitely not Bork Torkelson and Jake Manning on the call for Wrestling Revolver, which have been some pretty fucking good shows. If you want to hear some solid commentary, listen to some of those shows. But this show, no, this is exactly what you don't do. I'm gonna leave it up on the How This Get Booked website. It's available on the High Spots Wrestling Network. Like I said, but we've discussed this whole thing and spoiled it for you. So who gives a fuck if you watch it now? It's been a journey, to say the least. Zane, anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Go to the ProWrestlingTees.com/Caleb Conley and buy your Revolt merch while you still can.
Oh, well, I mean, keep in mind, this is coming out a month from now.
That's fine. We're still going.
For a month? For a month, you're still going?
I hope so.
Okay. All right.
Just in case.
All right.
Maybe we got paid dumb money and won't even fucking ever talk to you guys again. Who knows?
There's dumb money on the table?
We have hopes.
Okay.
This has been Revolt Talk.
This has been Revolt Talk. Like I said, this was recorded a month ago, so maybe
we could all be dead.
We could all be dead. And like I said, that's one of the reasons why we didn't want to get ahead. But at the same time, too, we had a curveball come up. But we will probably be a little bit more timely as things start to open up. Or as things start to open up, things will get crazy and we'll start recording back again.
We North Carolinians, we start opening up Friday, which is 2 days from now.
You mean phase 1 or phase 2?
We're phase 1.
Well, I'm just saying, like, when this episode comes out,
by then
we'll be close to phase 2, which is when gyms open up.
Well, possibly, because if we don't have constant improvement, we go back a phase.
Yes.
So
the
Pump Palace will always be there.
I do owe you a payment for the Pump Palace pretty soon. So
it's a goddamn palace. Everybody can have a fucking house.
No,
Pump Palace.
Pump Palace.
Paparazzi's Pump Palace. Goddamn it flows.
Oh, Pump Palace.
Pump Palace.
I've been calling it Pump House.
I know, and I've been too cool to let it go. But now I just can't anymore.
Oh, that goddamn alliteration is so much better.
Exactly.
Fuck. What?
That's why it's Papa Riley's Pump Palace. You got me fucking it up, and then Caleb Conley's Curl Castle.
Yeah, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh names. Fuck! No, you should have corrected me sooner. I am so sorry. I apologize.
Well, I wanted to put it out there in front of everyone. You fucked up the intro. Might as well go ahead and let you know about how you fucked up the finish.
Well, I've definitely fucked up the finish. But those of you who have not fucked up, and the people who have left reviews, thank you so much, Stellar Steve, for leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. Also, too big thank you to DJ Shadow Penguin. Thank you so much for that. Guys, as always, make sure you subscribe, follow on Citrus, Spotify, wherever. Make sure you check out howtothisgetbooked.com for my merch and for more information about future shows. This has been another edition of Dad. Did I say Dad didn't work your wrestle?
No, you didn't yet.
This has been another edition of Dad, You Don't Work, You Wrestle.
Whoa.